Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. I'm Tim. This is streaming my workouts. Streaming my workout for the rest of the year is a body transformation. One of the things that's different about this body transformation compared to others is that I'm not taking uh, any sort of supplements. So no protein, no pre-workout. I'm taking protein, but no protein supplements. No pre-workouts, no protein shakes. I'm not taking any creatine, no BCAs, just trying to get all of my nutrients from the food that I eat and seeing where that takes me. I'm not opposed to taking supplements. I've taken plenty of supplements in my life. I think they work great, and if you want to take them, awesome. Do what works best for your body. Uh, I'm, just curious to see how far I can go without taking anything. And the secondary reason is that one of my kids started preschool, and preschool is expensive. So cutting out supplements saves me at least $100 a month. It's $1,200 a year, and every little bit helps. Today is leg day. I'm gonna start off with some squats. It's gonna be so much fun. Just square it away real fast. Again. All right, let's do this. Start off with some body weight squats. Start just a little bit. Here we go. Oh. Legs feel like a little stiff this morning. I'm gonna say I probably feel a little stiff. Well, not fantastic. I consumed an unreasonable amount of pizza last night. I was little swollen from the salt and other things. Morning, Collins. How's it going? Welcome to May. I guess you get to May 1st for me though, since you're on the East Coast. Just got back from a morning walk with the dog. Nice, man. How's the weather there? $65 degrees and sunny. 83 is high, so hot for PA. That's nice. I haven't looked at the weather yet, but I think we're like due for the low 70s today. Pretty chill. All right, so that was the 30 pounds, 13.6 kilograms. I'm gonna go up to 70 pounds, 31.75 kilograms. Get that ready. So it's nice, it's warm enough that I don't need my heater, my garage heater blowing on me anymore. It's nice to walk out here and have it not be so frigid. I learned this interesting thing about camels the other day. I saw this YouTube video, and thanks to Twitch, one of the guys that watches sometimes from Saudi Arabia, so I confirmed it with him that this was a thing. But apparently, camels will, for no apparent reason, get this disease where they won't eat or drink. They refuse to eat or drink, and so they'll take a poisonous snake and force the camel to swallow the poisonous snake, which will then cause the camel to have tears that help it get over its sickness. And there's just like videos of them force feeding these snakes alive, not dead, but alive, to these camels. It's just really fascinating. Never seen that before. But I wanna know how they figured it out that they should do that. Like, did somebody see their camel sick, randomly swallow a snake, and then be fine? Or was there a camel herder that got so angry with his camel for not eating that he was like, I'll show you, I'll force feed you this poisonous snake. And then the camel got better, and he's like, oh, that's the treatment. But really fascinating. But I think if you force fed me snakes, you'd probably convince me to start taking your other requests more serious. All right, this is 70 pounds, 31.75 kilograms. Let's go. Colin says, crazy how we find out what works. Yeah, man. Well, it's always interesting how much more superior we can feel over the people that came before us. And we're just not. Or we shouldn't feel so proud. But I think there's like a serious, like, I don't know, effort to make us disregard the wisdom of our parents or our ancestors and look at them as silly. And granted, like, people believe in some silly things, or were taught some silly things. But there's this whole thing where they were talking about. I won't butcher this, but that they discovered that your gut um, has memory in it. That similar to the brain, it has tissue that can hold memory. And they're finding this in different parts of the body, that different parts of the body can hold memory as well as the brain. And we like talked about how silly it is that people are like, oh, like I have this feeling in my gut. It's a bad idea. We're like, oh, that's like just a silly way of saying it. It's like, ah, maybe it's not. Maybe you really do get feelings from your gut, but something's a bad idea. What are you what are you working on today, Colin? Following with you, to be honest, makes it easier. Cool, man. Well, just to reiterate, because I haven't said in a while, I'm doing the suitcase squats. If I had a squat rack, I would do like with the bar at this point. I was holding the weight in the front, the dumbbells, but at this point, it's like really hard to hold the 70-pound dumbbells up safely, and just getting them up in the first place is really hard. So I'm opting for the suitcase squat until I eventually get an actual rack. Jacon says, plus every day I'm trying to walk if it's nice, sit-ups, push-ups every day as well. Yeah, man. Well, May is going to be the start of me focusing on cutting weight a little more, or a lot more. I'm gonna start counting my calories again and trying to drop about 5 pounds a month till October. So we'll see how it goes. I was like getting pretty down on myself about gaining weight again. So I'm not, you might have heard me say this already, but I think we were talking about it, putting on my jeans and stuff. It's all fine. It hasn't changed. So I know I haven't put on a bunch of fat. So that was nice because I was really bummed the last like few weeks looking at the scale and being just frustrated. And it's amazing how many times you can hear and tell other people, don't worry about the scale, but you just, it's hard. It's hard not to look at it and get bummed out sometimes. The thing that made me feel better too is I did some research, and you can gain about 0.5 or 0.25 pounds on average of muscle a week if you're working out. And so if I gain half a pound of muscle a week, that's about 8 pounds so far this year. So that's what I'm going with. Colin says all your weight is in your gut for the most part, so doing all the lifting, you're just adding muscle everywhere else, it seems. Your neck seems veinier to your shoulders, and your arms more toned than when I first started watching. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, it does, man. Right here is where it all goes. If you like take a picture of just this part up, great. This part down, great. if you like only showed nothing, didn't show here, it would be a lot better looking. That's the nice part about swimming pools. You can just sit there in the water up to here and look amazing. Or go to the edge of the pool and do that move and look great. And then you get out. But it's fine. Again, I don't want to cut too. I really don't want to get super lean. I think 18 and 20% body fat is fine. Font says it's like picking up a girl in your car versus walking through a grocery store. That's one of my favorite Family Guy jokes from back in the day. Was they were talking about Russia and because of the fur coats, it being a crapshoot. And there's like a guy and a girl. And they're like, on 3, 2, 1, we drop our coats. And they do it, and the girl's like slamming the guy's like big I haven't picked up girls in over a decade. It's been 14 years since I picked up a girl. I'm gonna tell you, like, the biggest thing that I learned about picking up girls, and this is why I think doing Tinder and stuff is a bad idea, or it can be, is when you go out, you don't waste time picking up on the girl that's playing it cool, that's trying to look like she's not interested. If you can't look across the bar or grocery store or wherever and make eye contact and see that she's into you, like, just don't waste your time. And I'm not talking about picking low hanging fruit, you know, but don't waste time on women that aren't automatically attracted to you. There should be some sort of automatic connection, in my mind. Hey, Jay Collins says, I found my girl on Tinder, but I think it's better organically. Well, I'm not saying Tinder doesn't work. I'm saying, I'm not, oh man, hold on. I've never used it, so I don't know. I just had a conversation like a few years ago when with a friend that was talking about Tinder, and he was like, "Oh man, see that? I see this girl at the gym that I've, like, swiped for her on Tinder, but she hasn't, like, done anything to my photo yet, and I don't know if I should go talk to her or not. And I was like, man, I have no idea. I have I have no ideas what the rules are for that. I definitely wouldn't go up and tell her, hey, I saw you on Tinder. That seems like a bad idea. But I don't think it's the worst idea to go talk to her. If she seems like she wants to talk, talking to girls at the gym has always been a risky endeavor. Colin says, I get what you're saying. I think guys these days need to diversify on most dating apps. Pick up girls in public, etc. You need to spread your web. Never approach a girl in the gym first time for a number. Plant a seed. Yeah. I if you know if I were interested in picking up a girl at the gym, I think like if she makes eye contact with you randomly or is next to you, exchanging very simple pleasantries, not talking about the way they look or working out, just a very simple hello, like pardon me, excuse me, are you done with that kind of conversation. And if that goes well, uh, just hope to see her at GNC or your local vitamin shop or the grocery store. I think definitely too. Uh, Two things that like I was looking for is one, having fun, and not like just in the bedroom fun, but fun like is this someone that like we laugh, like we have a good time together. That was like the big one for me, was just that it would be fun, we'd be happy together. Um, and then two, like life experiences, how much of life has she seen, and then um, their job, like what kind of work have they done, what kind of work experience, do they have their own money, are they living off of their parents' buck, like what have they done with themselves. And the big one as far as physical for me was how much makeup is she putting on, and like if she doesn't wake up in the morning and is fine without it and like automatically shooting off to the bathroom to put on pounds of makeup, don't do it. There are two big signs that are bad about someone that wears excessive makeup. Is one, you're gonna spend a lot of time waiting for that person to get ready, and two, uh, unless they have their own money, you're gonna spend a lot of your money paying for makeup. And then there's always the other ones too, like the obnoxious side of like having to get makeup off your pillowcases or makeup off your clothes. So less makeup, the better. That's my My feeling. All right, this is 60 pounds. And 60 pounds is 27.21 kilograms. Jake on says, in relation to never approach a girl in the gym first, for a number of plant seeds, says, just say hi. I haven't seen you in here before. Nice to meet you. I'm Bob. The next time you see her gauge her interest, then approach her. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I always try to avoid any sort of creep vibe at the gym, or I signed up for a yoga class when I was going to junior college. And I was like, man, I feel like this is like a setup, or it could be a setup to automatically look like a creep. Because I know it's going to be most of the girls in the class. And if you show up wherever you put your mat, there's going to be a girl around you. And it's going to be easy for her to like judge you for putting your mat down there or get a weird vibe. So thought about it. I was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna show up early. We're gonna be first one to class. We're gonna put our mat off to middle side, so we're not dead center in front of the teacher. I never like being dead center in front of the teacher in any classroom. I like being on the side. Um, and then whoever shows up and puts their mat down in front of you or to the side of you, they picked it because you were already there, and that worked great for me. And then I didn't talk to anyone. I watched a lot of other guys come into class and just look like super creeps. Just blowing it. Show up early. And I noticed over the semester, I could only assume I wasn't giving off any bad vibes because the same group of girls would always end up around me. Jay Collins says, my knees are crackling. Yeah, mine too. I don't know if you can hear it. Um, but I don't think it's. I don't know what kind of cracking yours you're doing, but if it's the same kind as mine, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Um, but my knees have always cracked. Even when I was younger and I was doing taekwondo, my knees would crack a lot. The annoying one is my lower back cracks really heavily whenever I do like putting like your legs out straight from your stomach. I forget what you call it. Leg extensions, I think. I don't know. But extending your legs out straight and then pulling it back in. Whenever I pull my knees back towards my chest, my back like there's this like awful like crack and like uncomfortable. Colin says, just saying we're not used to it. They always do. Yeah. I definitely would pay attention to your knees though. Like you definitely don't want to mess up your knees. I know some people. I tend to do a lower squat, um, and usually I try to go about 90 or a little lower than 90. I know that some people alternatively don't go as low, and that's like I think my dad doesn't go as low because of his knees, but he's got more of knee problems because he blew out his knee wrestling in high school. So, but sciatica hip joint probably, says Collins. And then Collins says, I sit a chair behind me and tap my butt on it to make sure I'm going low enough. Yeah. Well, imagine with you doing deliveries, your knee sees probably a lot of work. I'm sure you've spent a lot of time moving those hospital beds using your knees. said before, man, the best shape I ever was in, like just best time in my life for ever putting on muscle was moving those 50-pound bags to seed all day. And especially because you pick them up from the ground, you went to the squat and you lifted them here, and then you had to throw them into the machine. And you had to do it quick. So that was, it's so strong. And then you had to pull it all out of the machine, sew it, and then restack it. And you're going through, so I've did a day where we did like 20 tons of seed. That was a rough day. But there'd be a lot of days where we would do 10 tons of seed, and you would just get so jacked. I got so big so fast doing that job that one of my friends started a rumor at church that he thought I was taking steroids. They just put on so much muscle so quickly in that job. All right, this is the 50 pounds, 22.67 kilograms. Well, it also didn't help that I had back acne. Like I fully expect if I ever get really big and uh, take my shirt off, that there'll be people that'll be like, "Oh, he roided. Look at all the scars on his back." I had this buddy. He was all about talking about when he was going to be in his 40s, he was going to start taking steroids. And I was so excited to see it because he was a big dude to begin with. Um, but he was just like, yeah, when I hit 40s, I'm gonna start roiding, and like he's there, and his wife has said no, you're not gonna get on any steroids. So that was disappointing. So I was excited to see him. His brother-in-law did do steroids, and that was interesting to see. He never got big. Like I was bigger than him, just naturally lifting. But he started out from being like super noodle armed and started roiding. He just roided to look like a decent lifter. He never even looked like massive. But I mean, it worked for him. I don't know if he's stuck with it or where he's at now. I haven't seen him in like 15 years, but took him from being like noodle arms to looking substantial. Some of my favorite people to see in the gym are the noodle arm guys that are just absolute beasts. Like they look so they look so weak, but they're like outlifting everyone. And you just look at them and you're like, how? How is it possible that you are so unbelievably strong? They're like biceps are the size of my like forearm. And they're just boom, 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 like 100 pounds, like it's nothing. I know we talked about before, Collins. I'm sure you've seen them. Or those country boys that grew up throwing hay bales. Those guys, those guys are unbelievably strong. My buddy, one of my friends, that's what he like grew up doing. And you look at him, you could tell he was fit, but even seeing he was fit, you could never judge like how strong he was. The best indication of how strong he was his cowboy boots. He had well worn like boots that could only look like that from working in them. And that would be your big indication. It's like, oh, this guy spent some time working on a farm. My great grandpa was from Switzerland, and he was not a big guy. He was dead well before I was born, but my grandma said he's like a little bit shorter than I am. But he would, when working on the farm, she said he would put 100 pounds sack of seed on one shoulder, 100-pound sack of seed on the other shoulder, and then pick up another. She said 100 pounds. And I don't say my grandma is lying, but it seems excessive. But he pick up another 100-pound sack with his teeth and walk like that. So I don't know if it's a true story or not, but I'm not calling my grandma a liar. So I will tell it as a true story. That is quite a task. But I have seen guys lift a lot of weight with their teeth. So I think it's entirely possible that he did that. But I know from living in China, there are a lot of Chinese guys out there that are incredibly like strong. Like just the amount of work you watch them do and then watch you carry, and the big indication of just how strong they are is when you see the incredibly old Chinese men and women doing laborious tasks. And like, oh man, you were a beast. The sad one that you see there a lot, that you don't see in the US a lot, is it's a lot of old people that walk like this because they've just been carrying heavy loads on their back all day, or not all day, but all their lives, and they can't straighten up ever, and their backs are permanently destroyed. But incredibly hardy people. So, all right, well, I'm taking off. I don't have time to do the lunges today, but Collins, if you're hanging out still or you're not done, man, there's always the that Jay Collins says, just like Mexicans, you'll never see a jacked Mexican, but they will work from 4 a.m. to midnight every day. Yeah, I worked on a crew where we would get guys from labor ready, day laborers, and if you got like a Mexican guy 100% every time, never failed, it was a good day. Other groups of people, not so much. It was pretty rough. So if you get some guys and they're just old cons, or not as hard of workers. So, but yeah, man, it's good when you get a good crew going. All right, you guys take it easy. God bless. Have a good day. Thanks for coming, Collins. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.